Good morning and welcome to Trading Card Talk, and today we're talking about the relentless demand of PSACard, and there's like a mini GradedGem update in there as well. So we're going to discuss why is PSACard grading still so popular, even though PSA basically told us, and you know, we're one of the biggest dealers, that turnaround times on standard service,
there's no word on it.
they're in the air.
Yeah. There is a turnaround time.
Yeah, the cards will come back.
We don't know when, but it's there.
So, you know, we're going to be discussing that because in most logic would make you go, all right, PSA grading should slow down now, and then maybe this will happen. But then again, it's only January, and we've only been open a week. So you never know. Right. Big news. Big news. We're really excited to say this, actually. We are moving to new premises.
We are. We've got new space.
Got new space.
And we're going to have more than just like 3 feet behind us, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
But yeah, we're going to have a brand new YouTube setup. I mean, the background will probably be quite similar, but there will be some changes.
It's going to incorporate the boxes, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, and it's going to be an interesting time. And we are moving in on Feb 1st.
Yes, we are.
Feb 1st. And we have made a decision, haven't we? So we've made a decision not to move cards from the current location we're at to the new location because it just entails risk. And we've got a good system here and we'll have a good system there, but there's no point merging the systems because that just entails risk. So what does that mean to all GradedGem submitters? It means we will be closing on the 22nd of Jan. So still plenty of time, guys. You've got 11 days. Third Friday of the month. And we'll just be closing until the 1st of Feb, about when we...
Yeah, I mean, it's a 1 whole week, guys. Whew.
But hopefully it's going to be exciting. The idea is not in a COVID world that you could actually come and drop off your submissions. You could come and get your returns. You could come and have a chit-chat with us. You could come and do TCT. You could come and open some boxes. You could come and do a community submission or returns video. I'm looking forward to those. It's the returns videos that I'm looking forward to, community returns videos, because when they're your cards and you don't know the grade, I know it's so much more exciting. So I'm looking for it. That's basically what this channel was built on. So you know what I mean? Oh, I don't know the grades. Oh no! Oh, everything's gone bad. Or yes, everything's gone great. So we want to bring that back into it. So just to confirm, closing 22nd, but big news. And there's also going to be probably a few new faces here on the YouTube and at GradedGem. Right, let's go to the relentless PSA demand. What's going on?
Well, in March of last year to April, they closed. PSA closed. There was a big, old, serious issue in the world called COVID-19, even though it was 2020. They got the year wrong, but it was fine. And, you know, everyone was like, oh, PSA closed.
Yes, they were. Yeah.
All of a sudden, they opened again. And it started to get more and more and more influencers and celebrities got involved with Pokemon. Logan Paul started buying packs. And it went from PSA are accepting cards to PSA are accepting cargo ships worth of cards every day.
Just from GradedGem.
Just for GradedGem. And it was a little insane to see the prices go up of PSA cards, the demand for PSA grading. I had people that haven't spoke to me in years that I've knew from all walks of life. Yeah. From all walks of life. Message me going, oh, I heard you know about Pokemon cards. Everyone did. Everyone in the scene had somebody, a family or a friend, who was like, Pokemon cards are worth something now? Yeah,
who had binders either in their garage or in their attic. Just had no idea what they were worth, but they saw the big fire red dragon. Dragonite. Charizard. That's him.
Dragonite. We like Dragonite. Dragonite's
you
a good boy.
You're saying that Dragonite's better than Charizard.
Because he's actually a dragon.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, they found these Charizards and they were like, wow, value. And then, where's the first place you go? You go to the biggest and the best grading service in the world, which I don't think there was any, probably still isn't any doubt about that. You go and PSA grade. What that meant was PSA got millions of cards, like I said, cargo shipments, and it affected turnaround times to the biggest point we've ever seen. This is unprecedented.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely unprecedented.
We used to get cards back in 3 months.
Oh, could you imagine?
On standard service.
Yeah, we're lucky if Express Plus comes back in that now.
Like, we're PSA dealers, so we have something called PSA preferred service levels. We don't run on the normal service levels, but we used to get cards back in 3 months for our normal service level. That doesn't happen anymore, guys.
No.
It kind of went from PSA being the hobbyist venture to PSA being
Conglomerate.
Amazon.
Yeah, well, they
Or
sold
eBay.
for $700 million.
Yeah, everybody is logging on and searching, where can I get cards PSA graded? That's me pretend typing. But, like, they're only so big.
Yes, and they have
They
double
can't
the
do
capacity.
everything, yeah.
No, and that's it. Like, you can only, I guess, react to the demand. You can't
Yeah.
go out there and build a second place for you to work before this. Like, you wouldn't.
No.
Like, you'd just be throwing
Well,
money down the drain.
yeah, it will make sense.
Yeah,
That's like us going, actually, should we buy a small city? No, that's not going to happen. That can't happen. That doesn't exist.
Did we employ 25 people tomorrow? No, yeah, exactly. So it all depends on the demand. You have to make those decisions at the time, unfortunately, as much as it would have been lovely.
Well, nobody predicted this.
No.
When this originally happened, me and you were looking at each other going, PSAF shut.
Yeah, well,
What do we do?
Yeah, we didn't know what to do. We were on. I was worried for definite, because I think everyone was in that time. To be fair, I think there was anxiety. Anxiety was high around the world. No one knew if they could go to their jobs. No one knew if they could make their rent or mortgage payments. No one knew if they had enough money for electricity. Luckily, the government stepped in and saved us all. Right. Now I want to go on to a point now. And the point is, why are people still PSA grading? Where is the value coming from? You know, where? So PSA grading, obviously, the most recognised grading service. And then from there you can just decide what you want to do. They obviously get the biggest money in auctions. Obviously, most collectors have PSA from the old times. You know, all the old collectors,
Dark Ages.
the Dark Age. Yeah, but before all this, everyone went Pokemon equals PSA, and that was 99% of cards that were graded, probably bigger than that. So why? What is the value in these cards going out to PSA and taking so long and then coming back? Where do submitters still see, right, at the end of the day, this market is there now. It's established. It's there for a decade at least. And you've seen all the celebrities getting involved. So therefore, actually, it doesn't matter how long it takes. Therefore, I'm just going to continue. Obviously, it's always frustrating. But let's go through the mentality of what a submitter is thinking. I think submitters thinking, well, I might as well submit anyway. Because when they do eventually come back, there will still be a market for me.
Yeah.
So that's interesting in itself, right? Because if you submitted last May, returns aren't back. But if you submit now, your returns aren't back. However, your May ones are going to come back. And then eventually you'll be, what I consider the May ones, you'll be the standard lot getting their cards back before the July ones of 2021. So it's an interesting psychology that it's like, well, they will be worth something and the market will always be there. So therefore, it's still okay to submit.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things, though, is we've seen the increase in submissions over the months since March last year.
Yes.
None of those cards are back. Like, after March. We got March's back, and nothing's back after that.
Express and Express.
Express Plus, yeah. But that means the market's not diluted yet. Means the market's not seeing the downwards trends it will hit if it does hit them. So people are going, oh, it's going up.
Yeah, it's very true. It's interesting. I guess one counterpoint I'd make to that is all the expensive stuff would either have now gone in Express or Express Plus or the 20-day and 5-day. Definitely in America, it would have gone in that anyway. So it's going to be interesting to see what are the new markets that are almost established by these cards coming back. Yeah. Because anything's got a price to it, right? And let's talk about. There's a lot of speculation around evolutions. You know, the amount of cards that have gone out there. We've had common reverses, reverse hollows, hollows from everywhere.
Normal commons as well, like common, not reverse.
Charmander.
Random commons.
And, hell, the break cards even went, which is crazy. That really is just crazy. But yeah, so like evolutions is just, hundreds of thousands of cards are there. Not just from us, like we haven't just been submitting 100, but I mean from the world, there's probably hundreds of thousands of just evolutions. If we had to go on our ratios of what's being submitted, so when those come back, and you are going to have hundreds of thousands back, not in one go, which I remember we could discuss that in a moment. But when they do eventually all come back, everything's got a price tag. Everyone will see, like let's say evolutions does go down in price considerably. Let's say 80%. Someone's going to go, there's an opportunity there. So therefore, the market was established. It's got value. There's worth in that value in that market, no matter what. So,
but I think the insane rise has made people think it's going to go higher.
Yes.
And I don't think it will.
No, not when
Yeah.
not when the normal cards come. What I'm trying to say is the behaviour is this is almost risk free.
Yeah.
So therefore, I can submit cards. That's the mentality of any submitter to PSA at the moment. It's almost risk free on standard because it's cheap in comparison to the price to the cost of the cards. So therefore, I can send them out, and I'm not actually ever going to lose anything.
Yeah, even if I sell them for £10, like I broke even.
That's my point. Yeah, like in the UK, it'd probably be about £12 transaction fees and postage, wouldn't it? But £12 for any PSA card is so cheap. They just don't exist, those sorts of deals anymore. The advanced action cards that I grade. When I got 9s, I used to sell them for £10, £12. You know this. £15 if it was a Latias or a Latios. Get rid of them. And some PSA 9 Tentacruel, the flip, sold for £30. Obviously, one I graded. So like the £12 isn't even your dump stuff now. £12 is you got a PSA. I like
how focus is perfectly on Pikachu as well. I don't know why.
To be fair,
Pikachu does love grabbing focus during these things.
This time in the morning, probably a good thing.
Yeah, we're recording this before everybody gets to the office.
Yeah.
We're both mostly asleep.
Yes. But I'm having a good time. I've got coffee, but it's Tom put on for me, so thank you very much.
That's no problem. But yeah, I think everyone is seeing price rises and knowing they're not going to lose. I think that's where the market comes from. I don't think the market comes from like people actually analysing loads of historical data. I think it's all like the game isn't the same as it was a year ago.
No.
Like, it has drastically changed, so you only need to look at the last 8 months' worth of data. You only need to look at what's happened since the whole, like, PSA reopening thing has opened and go, yeah, I'll make money.
Yeah, I still have worth in my collection.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the or worth in my inventory even as well. I guess the other question is, so when these returns start coming back, hopefully soon, but when they do start coming back for the standard grading, it's not going to be like PSA are going to shoot these out of the gate. It's going to take time to grade them anyway. Just right now, the demand is so relentless for Express and Express Plus. They're making $75 a card on the 5-day against the $10 on the normal. So they're just going grade those ones. They make $75, which I'd imagine is logical, right? When these standard returns do come back, it's not going to be one big here's 100,000 evolutions. It's going to be staggered. And it will be interesting to see how PSA manage supply, because at the end of the day, they've got the supply. If it was any other good or service, they've got the supply. They can hold the supply for however long to make sure the market doesn't crash, or they could just go, sod it, nothing to do with us. Bang, 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 bang.
You guys have paid your money for grading now. Here's 1 million cards back on the market in 3 days.
It'd just be exactly. It'd just be interesting to see whether that is in their thought process. Is that something that they're discussing as a board of directors and Nat, isn't it? Yeah. Are they going, right, what we can't do is just get all these standard grading cards, leave expression and just go bang, go out, millions of you. Because that would cause the market to crash effectively. Yeah. Whereas if it was staggered over, let's say, 12 months, again, we don't have any information here. And we don't know anything. This is
speculation.
This is just speculation. But if they did stagger it over 12 months, at least there's a 12-month period for the market to buy up those cards that were the additionals.
Yeah. For
collectors to keep them, or speculators to keep them. There's always going to be speculators in this market. Speculators or collectors to keep them, and then the next batch comes in. Then the next batch. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether that is even in their thoughts process.
I don't even know what they're going to do now, because realistically, like the thing they're doing at Express, obviously they're earning more money on the Express Plus cards and stuff like that. But not only that, they've got to keep those customers happy because they've paid more for the same
they paid the premium
service. They've paid more for the grading. So I don't know what happens with bulk, because what happens if like everyone who's submitting bulk just goes, okay, well, we'll submit Express then.
Well, yeah, the question's got to be, PSA are expecting a drop in demand. So far, from what we've seen this week, well, that probably won't be happening, our friends, so work out some sort of plan. But yeah, they must be expecting some sort of drop in demand, either in Feb, March, because obviously they're squeezier months, aren't they? They're not as financially free for a lot of people. It's a more of a difficult month, so therefore you probably can't go and spend 90 quid on grading your 10 cards, which won't come back for however long on standard grading. So maybe they are expecting demand will get to a point where we won't be able to supply, and therefore it will stop people from grading. That'll give us time to catch up. But
I don't see it happening, PSA.
No, I think me and Tom would. I mean, we've got nothing to do with it, but we prefer a more managed approach in regards to maybe saying no more Express or Express Plus this month. Let's focus on the standard, or no more standard because we're going to do the Express Plus and Express, but then we're going to just work on the standard.
Yeah.
Instead of or inputting all the standard. It takes 15 weeks for a standard order to get inputted.
Yeah, and we know. So the way the system works now, anyone with a PSA account knows, if you send an order to PSA. They've got a barcode that it gets scanned when it arrives, so you see the arrived date of the parcel at PSA,
which was a good addition.
Yeah, it was a fantastic addition. It was one of the best things that they've done in recent history.
Mm-hmm.
However, you can see the arrived date, and nothing happens, and nothing happens, and nothing happens, and it goes on for ages. Where you're just like, when's this getting input?
Yeah.
And that's the box is there. When are the cards getting input? When are the cards getting graded? And it's so frustrating for anybody submitting, and for we're submitting as well. We know what it feels like. We get to see it, and we know how frustrating that can be.
Well, I've got May, June returns as well.
I've got cards like that.
Yeah,
I've got my cool Superman card. I've got like little stuff, but everyone wants their stuff back, and at the moment the demand doesn't drop, therefore PSA doesn't get cards back. I think it's kind of that simple. Unless you're submitting on Express Plus at the moment, or Express, cards aren't coming back anytime soon because demand is not dropping in the slightest.
No, so it's interesting. It would be interesting. I'd love to be a fly on the wall at PSACard. I'd love to hear their thoughts process. And obviously, we do have some insight into PSA's processes and procedures. But it'd be interesting to say, right, when does this go too far?
Yeah.
Especially on the standard. If we send now, if we're not going to get back till 2023, surely that's far too much. Yeah. Right?
Well, we've joked that entire new complex they've got is literally just going to be a warehouse for cards.
Yeah, it could be. It could be.
Like, I don't think people understand the volume, like, that 1,000 cards actually fills. And then times it by 10. Then times it by 100. Do you know what I mean? Like, everybody's submissions, they're physical items. It's not digital. You can't just store it on the cloud. Like, this takes up a ton of space.
But this is the thing. Like, and because no standard cards have come back since then, and this is for most, that's for the other dealer as well, and it's for most others. Yeah. That they haven't come back. Where are these cards being stored is another question. Like, how many together? Like.
Well, it'll have to be in a heat-controlled environment. It can't get too hot. It can't get too cold. They have to be secure, so there has to be, I'm guessing, actual physical security, like, staff members, just to guard these things, because they're worth a boatload. Like,
especially now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, in May, cards were worth, like, top-end card, $2,000, $3,000.
And that was top-end.
Yeah.
That was top end.
Yeah.
That was top.
And, like, low-end cards were, like, 10, 20, 30 quid.
Yeah, well, you could sell cards for 10 quid.
Yeah.
And I find it very interesting that now that dump card, that advanced action card, nothing against that person, like, fair play.
Yeah.
But, like, that shows you how crazy the market's gone. It's 3x on something that no one else is collecting in the world,
and everybody,
probably.
like, the person who bought that, I bet, was like, oh my God, I got a card for so cheap.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Yeah. No, 30. What? That's not cheap. I remember when I was going after Radiant Collection, like, to start off with, I was like, £500, I should be able to get every card.
Yeah.
And now it's like, £500, I can get one card.
Well,
and I'm like, what?
£30 to £50 was very often what's the first edition PSA 9.
Yeah, for sure.
That would normally be the case. Johnny Boy's here. Porridge on too. Go check that out. We did really well this weekend. We got him over 150 followers. Shouted him out on the 2 channels and did it. But anyway, it's going to be really, really interesting to see where this goes this year into 2021. We're obviously looking, and we're really looking forward to expanding in Feb, and hopefully you can understand the decision just to close for a week so we can catch up, get everything out, and then start again in this new location, and hopefully
have more plushies,
and hopefully if this COVID world calms down, we might be able to meet some of you guys, talk to some of you guys, submit with us, and get your returns. So I think that'll do, because people are starting to arrive. This was Trading Card Talk, and we'll see you next Monday.
Bye.